Jawwallers, shot callers, and everyone in between. Drywall fighting. I gotta kill everybody. I gotta smash everybody. Allah Akbar. We're in Abu Dhabi, and it's one of the best cards of the year. This is a card for the real sickos. This is a card for the real earners, the people that love the sport, that love fights, and they don't care who knows it. Let's dive right in. It's gonna be a banger, bottom to top. There you have it. There's your poster. Robert Whittaker taking on Reinier de Ridder on a 3-fight win streak. Super impressive. GM3, Kevin Holland, Bo Nickel. Line him up. I knock him down. He is too blessed to be stressed. He is hair down, flowing in the wind, relaxed. On the other side, we have Bobby Knuckles coming off of a terrible loss to the Chechen gangster. Got his jaw snapped in, but before that, he had done an upset against Ikram Aliskerov. Looked like he was once again in that title picture. We're going to be excited to see how he bounces back. Could this be the fall off of Whittaker? How is he going to handle the awkwardness of de Ridder? We'll see. Let's go. Let's get started early. Prelims. Martin Buday kicking it off against Marcus Buchecha. Let's start off with Buchecha because Buchecha's exciting, man. This guy is a true specialist on the ground. He is, in every single position, from top half guard, bottom half guard, top mount, bottom mount. Like, the dude can throw up crazy shit. It does not matter. He has an insane plethora of submissions. Martin Buday on the other side. Let's talk a little bit about Martin because he had a win recently against a 185er. Uran Sabdebiev. Really like that cut. Really clean boxing. Like I said, fought against a dude. Martin's a true 265er. Martin is a full-bodied 265er. And this kid went out there, first fight in the UFC, boxed him up, threw straight shots, peppered him, like, out-volumed him, and I think it was a robbery. Although I picked Martin because, we're the big trend that never stops. Come on. So he's in trouble. I think he's in deep trouble in this fight because he's fighting against a pretty athletic guy, against a guy that can close distance, which Martin suffers with. When Martin gets somebody that's a little too fast twitchy, there's the Slav in him. The Slavic man in him gets a little lost. And Buchecha's the real deal. Buchecha's the real deal. This should be an easy one. I think Buchecha actually taps him. I think this guy is too explosive, has way too many options. I think he taps him in the first, actually. What do I think the odds are? Buchecha's probably a minus 700. Whoa. Well, there you have it. Now we can start going over our bets. Our 3 best bets, ladies and gentlemen, as always. Your underdog bet. This is going to be your plus money, plus 300. Is going to be your dog barking off the collar. This is a little pup that, hey, it wants some scratches under the chin. Why not? Your next bet is going to be your greater value, better choice. This is going to be your chalky bet. This is like a Buchecha right here at minus 325. You're going to lay the vig. You're going to have to pay the juice a little bit, but you're going to get the squeeze. Once again, it's not about being right. It's about taking over. Simple. And then lastly, you have your ass shaker, moneymaker. That's going to be your long shot. This is what's going to get you in the VIP room with the go-go girls, the lights. Hopefully they get the Narcan out after the fight for you. And yeah, these are going to be your plus 800s, long shots, stuff like that. But Buchecha, that's fair value. If we know anything about Martin, we know about his athleticism, we know about his lack of urgency. That's a great bet for your greater value, better choice, at least just to start it off with. Just to get our feet wet and kick off the night. All right, let's move on. Muhammad Yahya taking on Stephen Nguyen. The battle of the rejects. Because these guys, like, Muhammad Yahya got done bad by Caillou. I don't know why they set him up in front of... This is the second time that he's probably going to get slept in Abu Dhabi. We'll get to Stephen Nguyen. I'm not banging the drum on Stephen Nguyen, but yeah, this dude has, like, they've given him 2 just absolute sickos to fight in the UFC. Has not been able to make a splash at all. Muhammad is kind of slow, doesn't really have a game plan. It's well-rounded. Like, he can kind of do everything, but it's just 4 out of 10 at everything. Yeah, not a lot of urgency, not a lot of athleticism from him. He is kind of just uses his pressure and does have a bit of a chin. I don't know if he does anymore, though, because these guys probably... I mean, Trevor was beating him like a dog, and then Caillou did him bad. On the other side, Stephen Nguyen, I think, has had... Let's check it out. I think he's, for real, been in and out of the UFC 3 times. He's like a Sacramento guy, like tough Asian, got beat up on by Jarno Aarons recently. It's been over a year, though. Yeah, he has. It's been a while since he fought. That is a bit of a layoff. Yeah, look. So there's him in and out of the UFC, in and out of the Contender Series. He's gone to the Contender Series twice. That's what it is. I've watched him at the Contender Series a little bit too much. Stephen Nguyen, very one-dimensional, boxing heavy, wants to pressure you, will eat shots. Is going to be more athletic than Muhammad Yahya. I think probably... weirdly enough, probably has better wrestling than Muhammad Yahya. I think Stephen Nguyen does win. I think he decisions him. I think that this might be one of those fights that you go get some of the party favors for the night ready. Make sure the kids are getting ready to be tucked in. Because I just don't expect a lot of fireworks here. It could be one of those fights where it's like, hey, we're both not necessarily the most footwork intense guys, not the best technical strikers. What if we just went out here and just put it all out on the line for these very highly esteemed Saudis, right? So I don't know. What is the odds here? Maybe Stephen Nguyen is like a huge favorite, minus 300. It would not be warranted, and I would never ever put money on him unless we were doing baccarat in one of the boats in Sacramento. If you know, you know. All right, Stephen Nguyen minus 300 also. Yeah, minus 355. That makes sense. But if you were gonna bet that, you need spiritual guidance. You don't even need help. You need to go straight to figuring out like where your soul is within the grand scheme of the cosmos. All right, let's move on. Ibo Aslan taking on Billy Elekana. Ibo Aslan. Moment of silence. Moment of silence for a Drywall Contender Series candidate that just fell a little short. I mean, this guy, it's really sad because I was so ready to go and sign the birth certificate, make him officially a part of the family, make sure that he knew that he was always going to be taken care of. And he goes out there against one of the most disgusting human beings in UFC history, in Ion Cutelaba. And he gets kind of smacked around. He gets kind of smacked around in a way that I don't think I'll ever be able to forget. I'm going to try my best, but it's hard. This is a toss-up for him. Let's just call it what it is. Billy Elekana fought against Bogdan Guskov, got done bad as well in that fight. It's his second fight. He's tall. He's athletic. He has a bit of like he's kind of a little top cock guy. Like, hey, I don't care if you're popping me with shots. So this could be a very exciting fight. Could be a very quick fight because that's not the game you want to play with Ibo. And I think that, yes, Ibo has issues on the ground, but that was against Ion, who can kind of maneuver in those waters. Billy Elekana can't. I think it's going to be a purely striking kickboxing battle, which Billy might have the reach, might even have the speed, but he won't have the chin, the toughness, the metal, and especially not the power of Ibo Aslan. I think Ibo walks him down with that clean boxing. He is at one of the best gyms in terms of like bigger heavyweight classes, the Extreme Couture. Those guys do a great job. He has great eyes. His eyes are only getting better as a striker and making sure that everything's in front of him. He's seeing everything. I think Ibo does him. I think Ibo does him bad in the first. He could maybe get him into the second if the guy runs, but Ibo is just such a marauder, man. He will find you in your village and he'll make you pay in front of your family. So I think Ibo is the pick. Give me good odds on Ibo, dude. If you give me anything better than a minus 300, I'm going full send on the fucking greater value, better choice here for Ibo. I'd say minus 500 Ibo. No, they want to make my day. Make my day, sports books. Minus 270 for Ibo Aslan. That's lunch money for the rest of the month if I play my cards right. And you know I don't like cheap lunches. It's caviar and crab and lobster and steak around here, baby. So yeah, that's the pick. Ibo Aslan. He can get back into maybe he can earn himself back into another Drywall Contender Series fight. But we'll see. Let's move on. Amanda Ribas taking on Tabatha Ricci. What an exciting fight. This fight has a lot of implications here for the 115 division. Let's start off with our gal, another Drywall Contender Series contestant that, they just weren't able to get themselves into the light. And that happens. In Western culture, we have this idea of life where we're all through hard work and determination and having a plan and exercising control, we're going to have the things that we envision. We're going to have our desires. That's not how it works. That's not always life. Sometimes we just come into the world and all we do is eat shit and die. Okay? And so that's what Tabatha Ricci has to realize. I hope Tabatha Ricci is ready to eat shit and die in this fight in order to get herself back even remotely into my radar. Tough fight here though, because she's going kind of skill set for skill set, I feel like, in Amanda Ribas. That's not going to be how this fight unfolds. And when I say skill set to skill set, I say Tabatha's recent skill set, because against Angela, she went out there and outstruck her. She goes out there recently against homegirl Jian Jianan, wants to strike with her. Her boxing and her striking has become her presentation card. That is what she puts out there first before the BJJ, which is her true specialty. If she follows that line of thought, she's going to have a very tough night. I don't know if she's going to follow that line of thought, because she is a bright gal. She is learning, and she is a very she's a heady fighter. She's analytical. On the other side, Amanda Ribas, also kind of reeling. Tough losses. The Mackenzie Dern fight, she was kind of getting beat up on. Just struggles with gals that are bigger than her, gals that are more aggressive, gals that have that nice grappling, wrestling sort of style that they can take her up against the cage. I think that this fight might unfold the way that the Tisha Pennington Tabatha Ricci fight played out, where Tabatha will be able to incorporate the grappling at times after some good pressure. I think she will win the battle of like who's willing to extend their combos in order to back up the other fighter. I think Ricci will win. I think Ricci's going to be faster and have more pop. And then she will kind of grind her down up against the cage. So I think that that's a good blueprint for how this fight could go, that Pennington-Ricci fight. We'll see, though. Let me see. Ricci minus 170? I don't know if I'm ready to do a dog barking out the collar for Ricci here, because that's just much too early in the night. Playing with my emotions, toying with my heart. I'm not ready for that. I'm going to highlight it just because we don't know what kind of value there is out there yet. I think Ricci can decision her. I think Ricci's, she's going to have the pops and she's going to have the speed. And I think that they're kind of equal on reach. They're both kind of small. But let's move on. Damon Blackshear taking on Davy Grant. Let's talk about Damon Blackshear first, because Damon Blackshear is a bag of air. He is what in Spanish-speaking countries we call paquete. Un paquete de aire. He's nothing of substance, really. You look at some of these wins. Cody Stamen, I don't even think he's in the UFC anymore. I think they might have had to cut him just because we don't need another guy, like a white guy that drives a truck and does construction or whatever, have but really it's just a bunch of other type of men that they hired. And we don't need these guys anymore. Then he goes on against Cody Gibson. You could argue that Cody Gibson was out wrestling Damon Blackshear, and then against Alatang Ali, another one of those fights where it's like, what is Damon Blackshear? Like, who does Damon Blackshear think he is? Has he really explored within himself to figure out like what his purpose is in this world of MMA? Because he has all the intangibles. He has the physical, not the intangibles. He has the tangibles. He has all the metrics of explosiveness and length and well-rounded skill set for him to be an imposing fighter at 135. And he just always falls flat on his face, either because of lack of cardio, lack of technique. Against Montel Jackson, we saw he just like threw his head into that 1-2. It was absolutely like unreal. The lack of head movement and IQ. So that's Damon Blackshear, a very disappointing, just underperforming, disappointing, underwhelming, whatever you want to call it. That's Damon Blackshear. I just don't have a lot of faith in him. I wish that I did. I think that I say all these things, Damon. I know you're listening. I say all these things with love. It's from a place of care. Like, I want the best for you, and I think that you can have great things, but I don't know if you really want it like that. On the other side, Davey Grant has been showing levels to these young cats. Taveras, recently against, you would say against Daniel Marcos. He had Daniel Marcos. I thought Davey Grant did enough to win that fight. I did give it slightly to Marcos because of the leg kicks. But he's been going in there against these young bucks and really performing. A guy at the age of 39 years old in a very tough weight class, and he seems to be figuring it all out. He's able to back you up with that clean boxing, which he's always had. The grappling, he's had grappling, but the way that he actually threatens submissions now, it's like that old man strength it's something else. These guys, he really does feel like physical with some of these guys, and props to Davey. I say all that, a tale of completely two-sided. Two narratives there. Completely off the Damon Blackshear train, but I think I do have to pick Damon. I don't know. It's just, he is going to be, I think that he's had enough experience in the cage now to sort of, you would think he has enough experience in the cage now to think that he's going to put it all together here, be able to press on the gas, have a little bit more oomph on his strikes. He's going to be the younger guy. There's no reason he should be getting backed up by Davey Grant, and if he does, I think it's time to talk about cutting him on Blackshear. But I think he actually can probably even take down Davey Grant, like win a round off a takedown. What are the odds here? Well, first, I'm going to say he decisions him. There's no way he finishes Davey Grant. Maybe he does tap him. That's the only way. Maybe a submission, but I doubt it. I seriously do. Blackshear decisions him. What do I think the odds are? Blackshear minus 190? Minus 345. That makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, in a way. But I'm not. Damn it, dude. Do we go Davey Grant? Do we just say fuck it? No. I know this game. And to bet on a 39-year-old, even if they are a Raoni Barcelos, even if they are like it's just at any second they can fall off the cliff. It could literally happen in this fight. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take over. I'm going to do what I've been designed to do. I'm going to be great. Let's move on. Muslim Salikhov taking on Carlos Leal. Muslim. Drywall Security Detail. Head of Drywall Security Detail. Our guy, the Kung Fu King. King of Kung Fu. Let's start off with him. He did get slept. Oh no, it was that was he's come back from that. And he had that nasty that wheel kick. Dude is just He's like fine wine. But he's like, in comparison to a guy like Davy Grant, I'm willing to hear Muslim Salikhov out more in a spot like, in one of these spots, like having to fight a younger guy. I'm willing to side with Muslim just because these weight classes that are bigger, you're able to kind of do that. That being said, this is a very scary fight for Salikhov. Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Carlos Leal has a very special corner, a very special team that is definitely helping him with a lot of the extracurriculars of fighting, your nutrition, your supplements, your food, your vitamins, your nutrition. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like, they help him. There's somebody that is helping him a lot, because this guy, I watched him fight in the Contender Series. Just take a look, or no, I watched him fight LFA. Yeah, take a look at his physique in LFA and then compare it to his first 2 fights in the UFC. Just compare it. Do yourself a favor. I don't know. Because to me, it's very clear. And if Muslim is catching him during, let's call it a cycle of uplifting and of being on the high, if Leal is riding these highs of his nutrition and his supplements are at the very peak, if he's peaking in the cycle of that stuff, it's gonna be a short night from Salikhov, but it's gonna be a long headache, because Carlos Leal is a mean fucking guy. Very, very aggressive, very athletic recently. And yeah, I just think that Salikhov, he's going to get knocked out. I think Salikhov. And Leal, like, obviously, like, being real tongue-in-cheek here, being real sly, but Carlos Leal does have a lot of, like, he has good striking, he's good on the ground, he's aggressive, and he hits hard, and he's willing to just sort of like sit there. I have noticed that. That's probably not going to be the best route of attack for other welterweights, but if he wants to just find, kind of head off Muslim at certain parts of the cage, and if he wants to make him get into like long exchanges, yeah, this fight will be very, very short. What I think the odds are: Leal minus 450, minus 500. Makes sense. Let's move on. Bryce Mitchell taking on Said Nurmagomedov. Hey, bro, I'm going to tell you one thing, dude. I have a lot of opinions on history, and the history of guys going down a weight class after getting brutally knocked out and getting tapped out and put to sleep, it's not great. And especially not against one of the real, like, stalwarts of this division in Said Nurmagomedov. Said Nurmagomedov, clean striker, amazing guillotine, is coming off of that loss against Vinicius Oliveira, but we know now who Vinicius Oliveira is. Drywall family through and through, a special talent, one of the favela greats. But besides that, I mean, he had taken a long hiatus before that Vinicius Oliveira fight. That was a big reason why I thought Vinicius was going to win. But before that, Nurmagomedov was kind of streaking, was definitely threatening at a spot in the top 15. I think he might have actually been in the top 15. Yeah, because Vinicius took his like 14 or 15. So this is a tough fight for Bryce Mitchell. I just don't know. I just don't know if going down a weight class against a guy who's competent on the ground, a great, I would say, much better striker than Bryce Mitchell, being honest. Bryce is probably going to hit harder because he is going to be the bigger man. But you got to wonder, like, how does that chin hold up if, how does that chin hold up if he finds him early and often? I just don't know if Bryce is going to be able to hang in there at 135. And this is also, Said is kind of tall. Said is like 5'9". which is, I think Bryce Mitchell's like 5'8", 5'9" as well. He's 5'10". So, but it's not like we're going to see a Bryce Mitchell that is like towering. Yeah, 5'8". He's not going to be towering over Nurmagomedov, and it's not going to be like, like a particularly great advantage, the size that Bryce is going to bring to this fight. So it's tough. I think I'm going to go Nurmagomedov. There's just no way, like, Bryce is going to be able to find him. He's so light-footed. He's great on the outside. His kicks are going to keep Bryce at range. If he wrestles him, I don't think Saeed is going to. That is the one thing. If he wrestles him, I don't know if Saeed, if he does end up in a tough bottom position, I don't know if Saeed can get up. This is a pick'em, right? This is like a pick'em. Bryce, pretty much a pick'em. Bryce a favorite. I just don't think he strikes with him. I don't think he strikes with him. I don't think he really takes him down. Like, I think he takes him down, or he clinches him up. But maybe I'm really seeing this. It could be one of those where Bryce just puts on a clinic on top pressure, lands shots, and Bryce does kind of look. Whatever. It's my show. I can do it if I want it. It's my party. I can cry if I want to. I'm going to go Bryce Mitchell by decision. I think that maybe he could land some shots from top positions where it does complicate things. I forget about Bryce's ground and pound sometimes, that he's not as much. He's a give me whatever. Give me the back, or give me that top striking. So I think I'll see it. Call it what it is. The odds swayed me, but I think I will go Mitchell. I think it does make sense in a way. We'll see. Could be the end of Bryce Mitchell. Let's move on. Nikita Krylov taking on Bogdan Guskov. There's a lot of implications here. Man. Krylov came back, looked like a stud in his fight against Dominic Reyes. Yeah, he goes out there. Oh, my apologies. Yeah, he was against Ryan Spann that he then took the year off, and then he got done by Dominic Reyes. Bad. Dominic Reyes was the one that looked great in that fight. I picked Krylov. That's why I want to imagine these things that for sure did not happen. So, tough fight for him here with a streaking Guskov. I mean, Guskov has taken every challenge he has met so far in the UFC. Besides Ozdemir, like, he's taken it in stride, man. He's been great. Guskov is like Drywall adjacent. He's definitely somebody that we have on the radar. We watch out for him. I am gonna go Guskov. I think Guskov's gonna be bigger. Low key, I think he's gonna be faster. I think that Krylov taking the year off, and I think it could be another first round knockout. I think that ring rust that he did show against Dominic Reyes, that's not gonna go off like. That's not going to brush off that easily. And especially after getting knocked out like that. That was brutal. What was like another left check hook from Dominic? He's just been landing those on guys and just sparking them. So I don't know. This might be too much too soon from that knockout, from Nutty being able to get his feet wet against another, like maybe a less capable opponent. But this is the UFC. If you're in the top 15, they're going to give you a mauler, somebody that's coming up, somebody that's thirsty for success. And that's a Guskov, man. Guskov has a killer be killed mentality, and he is a take it wherever he thinks this fight should go. He's good everywhere. I don't think Krylov is really going to be able to impose on him on the ground. And if they are standing and banging, it only takes one from Guskov. And I think Guskov will be faster. What are the odds here? Guskov minus 300. Nah, I'm just kidding. Guskov, it's going to be a pick'em, like a Guskov minus 500, minus 150, I mean. Well, there you have that. I mean, I like it as an underdog. Bogdan Guskov plus 164, that's fair value, man. For a guy who I just think has more more grit to him right now. That's a good bet. I think Guskov does knock him out in the first. I'm really wondering what they think. I think they think Krylov is going to try to neutralize him with some clinching, some grappling, take some pop out of Bogdan's shots. I mean, there's routes. There's routes for sure. I'm going to stick with Guskov. Guskov, one of our favorite skinheads. Let's just keep going. Asu Almabayev taking on Jose Ochoa. We got the funny hats. We might be banging the drum here for the Kazakhstani Asu Almabayev. I've been having so many wild thoughts about this fight because it is like I thought Asu was going to win against Manel. I thought he had more tools in his tool chest, but Manel dismantled that with his speed and his striking. Asu a little stiff with the boxing. I've always thought that he was not obviously he's a much better grappler, but I thought his boxing was competent and that he was able to kind of do a little bit of that hand play and land some jabs. Like I thought he had an educated boxing game at least. But then I see against Manel Cap, and man, it just kind of changed the narrative on Asu for me. And then I think about Jose Ochoa, what he did recently to Cody Durden, first fight in the UFC. I mean, this kid is nasty. Shot selection is crazy. Great striker, very aggressive. Seems to be good everywhere because Cody Durden did try to grapple him, and he was able to kind of handle it. He did get held down. You could say Cody won that first round, which is not the best against a guy like Asu. Because Manel has great hips. Manel is hard to take down. Like, I think that Manel, if you get him down, harder for him to get back up. But just even finding his hips, he's so fast. It's difficult. I am gonna have to go Asu here. I think Asu, he snoozes him. He snoozes him to a decision. And it is a little bit much too soon for a very young guy. Second fight in the UFC. I know he's great. He's very talented. Jose Ochoa is definitely somebody to look out for. Just a dirty Mexican fuck. Like taco stand boxing and nasty knees. The shit that he just like, if you want to crash in on him, he'll give you something to go home with. But yeah, if I can extrapolate the grappling exchanges when he was on bottom positions and think about those, if Asu gets him in those positions, he might even get finished because Asu is just very, very he's very relentless when he does get you on the ground and he's on top. What do I think here? Asu minus 200. I do think that he probably will be the favorite. I'll pick him pretty much. Wow. Man, Jose Ochoa is nasty. Jose Ochoa is a real deal, I'm telling you. Let's move on. Nurmagomedov taking on Marc-Andre Barriault. Nurmagomedov, as we know, reeling, coming off that MVP fight. Man, were we just so excited on this guy after that double spin elbow on Armen Petrosyan. And then, yeah, he goes out against MVP, and it's like, hey, brother, there's levels to this. Like, the striking still isn't all there. You're not as fast as you think you are. There's going to be guys at this weight class that can figure you out, that can sort of draw out your combinations, that can beat you to the counter striking, that can beat you to the first punch. Like, MVP really did put him through a crazy washing machine just exercise there. Dude was just finding him. On the other side, Marc-Andre Barriault almost killed poor what's his name? He put a hole in his head. Bruno Silva. Like that was nasty. That was very nasty. And he was about to get cut. Like but he in front of his fellow Canadians was able to show up. I think this is a pretty simple fight. I think that Marc-Andre Barriault is going to try to get the takedowns. We'll see. Nurmagomedov also had a spot against Bruno Silva, and Bruno Silva kind of held him down. Shara is not very good on the ground. I do think that he'll be fast enough. He'll have the footwork to be able to stay on the outside, pop Marc-Andre. He could even knock him out because I just don't think, like, against somebody like MVP, yeah, it's going to be very hard to find them. But for the rest of the middleweights, like, there's really, I would say, yeah, the conversation in terms of better strikers in the UFC at middleweight, it starts and ends with, I mean, maybe Israel Adesanya and MVP are better than Shara. I don't know who. I mean, Abu Magomedov has pretty good striking, I think. Like, I'm not at all, like, saying that I'm an Abu believer, but, like, there's got 185 is, I mean, it's like you have guys like Sean Strickland that you could call, like, great strikers. It's not necessarily the best, most polished strikers. So I think that skill gap that he will have with power bar is going to be noticeable. Does he knock him out, though? I don't think he knocks him out. I think that he picks at him. I think he has moments where he hurts Marc-Andre, but then I think Andre power bar could probably get a takedown and maybe even hold him down for like a round and steal it. Shara is just not great at escaping. He doesn't have he doesn't know how to use his legs too well to be able to escape some of these tough positions. What do I think the odds are? I think Shara minus 350. Minus 550. That makes sense. Let's move on. Petr Yan taking on Marcus McGhee. Drywall Familia through and through. Our favorite gargoyle. My boy is just made out of stone. Marcus McGhee, man. This guy, like I said, we've been with him since the beginning. True. Just animal. The way that he approaches fights, it's why we wrapped our arm around him and we told him that we're always going to be there for him. It's because he truly puts the fear of God into you. Like, you watch his fight against Bolaños, you watch his fight against Jonathan Martinez. He truly just brings a presence and an energy where it's like you're going to get sacrificed to the gods on behalf of Marcus McGhee. It's simple. Like that. That's what he's going to do. He's going to take your carcass and he's going to exalt it to the higher powers. Because, man, he is just so tenacious, so bites down, willing to get into exchanges, has an insane variety with that karate. And can also grapple. He's a great, I mean, just a well-rounded prospect. Very tough fight for Petr Yan. The way I view this fight is, I think that this is the fight that it's gonna force Petr Yan to, in a way, it's kind of fall off a cliff. That's the reality of the fight game. There are some fights that even if you win it, you're at a certain point in your career that it's just going to take too many years. It's just going to take too much time off of whatever you have left. It's too much tread off the tires at once. Petr Yan could win this fight. I honestly don't know who's going to win. This is a true up in the air. I'm going to say Marcus McGhee does win. I think Marcus decisions him, lands the bigger shots, probably cuts Petr, is able to stave off takedowns. I don't think Petr's going to want to do that, but if he does, he's going to have a rude awakening. But yeah, man, I just think that this is going to be too much for Petr. Peter's been in some wars already, as we know. Sean O'Malley, talk about the Figgy fight, Sandhagen. Like, these have been wars, and it's just been too much in the last 2-3 years. And I think Marcus McGhee's just going to take that last little bit of soul that he has, and we're going to see slowly that the true tailspin, the unwinding of Petr Yan. It's very sad. But that's what happens. I mean, that's what we're kind of here to do. We're not here to take part. We're here to take over. We have our guys. And Marcus McGhee announces himself. All of our guys. Think about the last 2 cards that we've covered. Steve Garcia, put him on the thumbnail. Goes out, performs. Has to put Calvin Kattar in a retirement home. Last week, Vinicius Oliveira. People are saying Conor Phillips is going to footwork max him out of the room. Vinicius is pretty much, boy, I oughta. Like, pretty much just does that for 3 rounds and makes Kyler look like a novice. So just know what you're looking at. You're looking at a generational talent finder. You're looking at the big train that never stops. Marcus McGhee is going to announce himself into the bantamweight division. It's exciting times here at Drywall. Let's move on. Oh, I think Marcus McGhee might be a minus 200, honestly. No fucking way. No fucking way. No fucking way. We are going to be rich. We are going to be so rich. Plus 300 for Marcus McGhee. Is this a joke? Is this a joke? That's a 10 million. No, that's a 20 million. That's a 20 million. It's got to be a 20 million. 20 million to win 60. No, I don't know how to count. 20 million to win 80 million. Simple. 20 million to win 80 million. That's what we do around here. I wish I could add another zero. I wish I could add another zero because then I could buy some of the ammunitions and some of the ballistics that we need around here. Drywall arms dealing. We'll get into that channel later. But yeah, man, this is crazy. That's probably going to be a dog barking off the collar. And we might already have our 3 bets. And I love those names. Those are great names to be banging the drum for. Great guys to be standing behind. But let's move on. Main event, Robert Whittaker taking on Reinier de Ridder. And Bobby Knuckles, let's start off with him because this guy, I really think this fight, he's going to be like, y'all must have forgot. Because, man, the disrespect he's getting after the dismantling that he had of Ikram Aliskerov, and we know how good Ikram is. He did Muniz in dirty recently. He did him like a dog. Whittaker is still that guy, man. Like, until we see Whittaker get outstruck, until we see Whittaker lose sort of that edge that he has with the speed, that edge that he has with the shot selection, you still have to think about Robert Whittaker as a contender at 185. I mean, we saw there is just something about this weight class, the staying power, the lasting power that some of these guys from that Israel Adesanya run have. It's insane. Paulo Costa, Whittaker, like these guys they just hang around. And as impressive as Reinier de Ridder has been with this 3-fight win streak, these rising to the occasion every single time. I mean, that fight against GM3, I think about that like, dude, what a fucking fight. And he's a finisher. He goes out there. He knows what he wants. Very, very fun guy. Very loose, carefree on the mic. Too blessed to be stressed, Reinier de Ridder. Like, he's a great personality, but this is a little bit too much too soon for him. He is getting fast-tracked, and his style has kind of, like, I think that the guy's style has progressed. His striking has been looking clean. I know Bo Nickel wasn't, like, the best. We know Bo Nickel was just a gimmick. Like, he's a gimmicky guy. So, Rainier's striking against him is going to look great. But, so yeah, like, I know that Reinier has shown, like, hey, this guy's a world beater, but it is a little bit too much too soon here. I think that, I don't know if he gets a knockout because Reinier is very tough. Reinier is able to take the punishment and ask for more. He really does. He comes back for seconds. He's got a lot of intangibles. He's got a lot of drywall intangibles. A lot of things that only certain influences, either during pregnancy or some sort of substance abuse from the mother or father, like these things can create great fighters. They really can. So I think the speed advantage will be with Whittaker. I think that he'll frustrate him with calf kicks. I think that will be one of the strategies here to really slow down Reinier with kicks, because he's not the greatest. Like, he's good at getting you up against the cage, tripping you, But out in the open, which I think that Robert Whittaker with his movement and his footwork will be able to like stay on the outside. Reinier doesn't get takedowns out in the open that well. And we know Bobby Knuckles is great at getting back to his feet. So if he does take him out in the open, I don't think it'll be like anything that'll cause too much concern for Bobby Knuckles. So I think it's going to be that. It's just going to be Robert kind of being able to kick, land some kicks to the body, land some kicks to the leg, slow down Reinier. Then Bobby does decide, okay, either I'm blitzing or I'm going to dig my feet in, let him throw his combo, and then catch him in between some of the tempo. And I think that that's a great game plan. I think that it's going to work against De Ridder because I don't think De Ridder finds Bobby Knuckles' chin. I don't think that he really puts him in any sort of binds. So I am going to go Whittaker by decision. It's going to be 25 minutes of kind of cat and mouse because I do think De Ridder is going to be chasing him, and he is not one to just be like, oh, well, let's just start, playing. Yeah, let's start playing more of the outside fighter and like, okay, let's change the strategy in the middle of the fight. He's going to be pressuring. He's going to want to keep Bobby on his back foot so he doesn't have enough pop. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I really don't. I think that the Chimaev, destroying his jaw, it's kind of like sunk his stock a little bit too much. But we kill everybody. I crazy gangster, I crazy Chechen gangster. We do that here for Abu Dhabi. Come on. For the Abu Dhabi fans, we have to bring that energy. What are the odds? I think Robert Whittaker, what? Minus 200? Makes sense. Minus 162. That's pretty. Yeah, man, that's close. Well, let's finish off the card with our best bets. Our greater value, better choice for $10 million is going to be Ibo Aslan. We're going to go ahead and bet that, make ourselves $3 million plus. That money line is easy at minus 270. Love that number. Let's move on to our dog barking off the collar, Bogdan Guskov. That one's going to be another 10 milli to win 16 million. Bogdan Guskov money line plus 164. Great value. Just see him being able to have more tenacity, more of what it takes against a guy that recently got knocked out on Krylov. And then finishing it off, already mentioned it, Marcus McGhee, our ass shaker moneymaker, $20 million on his plus 300 money line. Make us proud, Marcus. Do it for the Drywall family. This is your moment. And Drywallers, don't you ever forget, from Dubai, from the houses of the sheiks that all owe us favors, don't you ever forget, the big train never stops.